being mad to being happy that he coming to now he talking to me, so I'm back mad again. I'm thinking about all the shit they saying on the radio. I'm thinking about how he talking right now, and I'm thinking about who I am, and I'm like, yo, this disrespecting me. Like, what are you talking about?
Jay-Z like the nicest. What? He like the nicest where? Like, he like him? He like this nicer than who? He ain't nicer than my niggas. You ain't just heard my niggas that I had on the radio?
Cassidy just lit the industry on fire with a bold claim. He says Roc Nation didn't just change his status, they made him untouchable overnight, and not in a good way. Suddenly, meetings got canceled, deals disappeared, and his name got wiped off the board like he never existed. Now he's pointing fingers and dropping names. In a raw new interview, the Philly rapper exposed what he calls Roc Nation's tight grip on the game. Something most artists stay quiet about out of fear. This wasn't some emotional rant. It was a full-blown challenge to the system. He laid it all out. Who's pulling strings? What moves are being made? And what goes down when you don't play by the rules? And just as the heat started rising, Memphis Bleek, Jay-Z's longtime right-hand man, jumped in to defend the empire. But Cassidy didn't flinch. He straight up said, Roc Nation, under Jay-Z's lead, doesn't just influence the game, it runs it. And according to him, that power isn't always used to lift others up. It's used to shut people down. He spilled the tea on how deals vanished overnight. Endorsements gone, business partners ghosted him, and the phone stopped ringing. All right after he stood his ground. Cassidy made it clear. This wasn't just bad luck. It was a calculated freeze out. He didn't have to say Jay-Z made the calls, because everyone already knows how that power moves in silence. Cassidy painted Roc Nation like a machine, silent but ruthless. Things shift behind the scenes without a word, and before you know it, you're locked out. But here's where it gets real cold. He said going against that quiet control doesn't just put you at risk, it can end your whole career. According to him, once you speak out, they make sure you don't eat. Not just in music, but in everything. Endorsements, tours, interviews, gone. Folks start treating you like you're toxic, not because of your talent, but because they're scared of getting caught in the crossfire. And he wasn't just talking about himself. He hinted that a lot of up-and-coming artists, especially the ones trying to stay independent, are getting blocked before they even make it. They drop hits, go viral, build a buzz. But when it's time to level up, nothing. Just silence. That kind of silence hits different. Cassidy breaks it down with a smirk, almost like he can't believe how slick it all is. He said they don't even need to mention your name. They just make the right calls to the right people and bam, your whole lane disappears like it never existed. Some folks might say he's just salty or past his peak, but what he's dropping sounds more like a warning coded for artists who are wondering why raw talent ain't cutting it anymore. And why is that? Because sometimes silence isn't golden, it's forced. But here's where it gets real. Cassidy's not just talking about himself. What he's saying taps into something that's been bubbling behind the scenes for a long time now. And once you start listening, not just to him, but to other artists too, it don't sound like some random story anymore. It starts to feel like a blueprint, a silent system set up to shut down anyone who won't play the game. Now, let's start connecting the dots. First up, Jilly Dog Kid. Way before the podcast Glow Up, Jilly had Philly on lock with some of the sharpest bars out. And back in the early 2000s, Roc-A-Fella came calling, ready to sign his group, Major Figures. But the deal they offered, straight up disrespectful. 7 members in the group, and they only got 12 points to split. Jilly joked they'd have to sell a quadrillion records just to see real money, so he walked away, and that's when the whole vibe shifted. Jilly's cousin Wallow later revealed that Jay-Z didn't take the no well. According to him, Jay said straight up, "I'ma make it hard for you." Cassidy never dropped Jilly's name, but the pattern speaks for itself. Say no to Roc Nation, And suddenly everything goes quiet. No more calls, no more deals. Just straight silence. This ain't some random coincidence. It's a blueprint. If it hit Jilly and Cassidy, who else got caught in the same game? Word is, Tory Lanez also turned down a Roc Nation deal and even accused them of stealing from the culture. And what happened next? You already know. Right after the Megan Thee Stallion drama hit the headlines, everything shifted. But the craziest part? His songs got pulled from playlists, his visibility tanked, and radio spins dried up, all before anything was proven. Whether you think he's guilty or not, the timing looks shady. It's the same pattern playing out again. Nicki Minaj had a quick link up with Roc Nation when her label situation was looking shaky. They dangled a title deal and promised her a major boost. But Nicki wasn't feeling the energy. She trusted her instincts and bailed before things got messy. Another artist who didn't play along and kept her power intact. Then there's Lil Wayne. He had his own back and forth with Roc Nation, turned down their offers more than once. Then boom, Super Bowl lands in New Orleans. His city, his people. Everyone expected Wayne to headline, but nope, he got snubbed. And guess who helped produce that show? Roc Nation. Instead, they gave the spotlight to Kendrick Lamar, Drake's longtime rival. That felt way too specific to be random. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. But the story doesn't stop there. La Russell came forward too, saying Roc Nation tried to lock him down with a flashy but lowball deal. He wasn't having it, so he called them out in public loud and clear.
If I would have signed this $15K, would you have told me you made a mistake and then you made a $750,000 mistake? I don't want to do business with who make mistakes that big. You gonna f my business up.
Right. He's one of the rare ones who saw it early and didn't stay quiet. OG Product says they straight up didn't want the deal. Justice Penn chimed in too, claiming some reasonable doubt writers still haven't seen a dime. And one artist allegedly had a whole track snatched.
They want me to come with Roc Nation, right? And what they want to offer me on Roc Nation, they want to offer me a songwriting deal. You feel what I'm saying? Like where I do songwriting. So basically, they don't want to give me an artist deal right now. They got credits on Jay-Z first Reasonable Doubt album. Even right now, Peter Panic didn't get his shmoola. He didn't get his racket. He didn't get his Gus.
Ghostwriting ain't the real problem here. The real issue? Control. Roc Nation is out here deciding who shines and who gets shut down. This isn't just about signing deals. It's about power. Who gets the mic and who gets muted. Cassidy didn't light this fire, but he's making sure people stop ignoring it. What's getting exposed is a whole system built on silence and quiet erasure. Say no, then they make sure nobody hears from you ever again. Now here's where things get real slick. Roc Nation hasn't dropped any press release to deny Cassidy's claims, or anyone else's for that matter, but they have responded. Just not directly. Instead, they've slid in a few carefully crafted interviews and sound bites that seem to say, we hear the noise, but we're not stressing. Just look at what Roc Nation co-presidents Sherry Bryant and Omar Grant said in an interview not long ago about their artist strategy. Grant made a comment that definitely raised some eyebrows. The main thing is based off of gut, he said. We still believe in signing artists and developing them off of their talent and who we feel like is going to be a long-term superstar. At first it sounds fair, just business, right? But when you really break it down, it's all based on vibes and who they feel like backing. Cassidy called it out, those gut decisions about who's gonna be a long-term star. To outsiders, it just sounds like we pick who we want, when we want, and if you're not that person, too bad. That kind of language gives Roc Nation the perfect escape route. They don't gotta admit to shutting anyone out. They just say the artist didn't fit the vision or wasn't aligned. It's always business, never personal. But to the artist getting iced out, it sure doesn't feel that way. And Roc Nation's reach? It's deep. From playlists and homepage banners to festivals, halftime shows, film cameos, and major brand deals, they got the keys to the whole building. Their cosign doesn't just help, it shapes the entire game. So when Cassidy says he got locked out, and Roc Nation responds with, "We just didn't feel it," what they're really saying is, we run this, and we trust our gut. And once Cassidy mentioned Roc Nation and Jay-Z by name, you already know it was only a matter of time before Memphis Bleek stepped in. That's Jay's day one. The same guy who once turned down a $75,000 deal just to keep his loyalty to the Rock solid.
They wanted to give me $350 with a $75,000 signing bonus. And I was like, nah, they didn't want it. And he like, yo, you know what $75,000 could do for you?
That kind of ride or die loyalty, it only gets stronger over time. So when Cassidy started throwing jabs, Bleek did exactly what everyone expected. He clapped back. Word is, he told Cass off straight up, no sugarcoating. Like someone who's seen how Roc Nation really moves from the inside. And this ain't new for Bleek either. He's always been Jay's shield when things get messy. Remember when Nicki Minaj seemed to throw some slick shade after being left off the Super Bowl lineup? Blogs ran wild with it. Some even claimed she was heated with Jay-Z over the whole thing. Bleek never said her name, but he didn't have to. He kept it cool and reshared a clip of Jay breaking it down, saying artists don't usually accuse him of doing something to them. Instead, they get mad because he didn't do something for them. Jay said it clear. They don't say I did anything to them. They say I didn't do something for them. Message loud and clear. Folks catch feelings when Roc Nation doesn't give them what they expected. And Bleek, he didn't hold back either. Told her to cool it down.
So when we done, you ain't gonna be able to get that bag. Chill out, we cleaning up, baby girl.
Bleek saw Cassidy's claims as nothing but a tantrum dressed up like truth. He didn't need to scream or drop names. His silence spoke louder than anything. And when he does speak, it cuts deep, even when he keeps it subtle. That's Bleek. Forever loyal to Jay, always watching, always ready to defend him from the shadows. But now, things take a dark turn. If Cassidy's story had you shocked, this next part might leave you straight up speechless, because now it's not just about artists getting iced out. Roc Nation's CEO, Desiree Perez, is facing some heavy accusations, real court-level stuff. We're talking fraud, wiretapping, and even claims that she falsely got her own daughter institutionalized, allegedly using fake medical staff pretending to be Nike execs to pull it off. Yeah, wild. And it gets deeper. The claim is that Roc Nation resources were used to make it happen. So why does this matter in the big picture? Because it shows that power over there isn't just an idea, it might actually be documented behavior. If the same leadership accused of pulling off moves like that is also running artist careers, tours, and media narratives, then Cassidy's claims don't sound like sour grapes anymore. They start looking like cold, hard truth. This ain't just industry politics anymore. It's starting to sound like the tip of something way more calculated. Cassidy's not just ranting about bad business. He might be exposing a quiet system of control, enforced from the very top. And if even half of these accusations hold water, the real question is, how deep does this silence go? And how many artists got crushed while the machine kept turning like nothing happened? Now here's what flips Cassidy's claims from just opinion to something way harder to ignore. The fans saw it coming. Long before Cassidy aired it out, everyday people on social media were already connecting the dots, and their receipts, they match everything he's describing. One fan didn't just back Cassidy, they pulled out names. They dropped a list of black artists who were allegedly tied to RCA Records, and according to them, got sabotaged while linked to either RCA or Roc Nation. Names like Normani, Tinashe, Bryson Tiller, HER, SZA, Victoria Monet, Jasmine Sullivan, Lucky Day, Brandy, Elle Varner, Jordan Sparks, Fantasia, Jennifer Hudson, and Marsha Ambrosius. That ain't random. That's a pattern. All of them talented, respected, with real fan bases, and somehow they all stalled out at the same level. Another fan didn't hold back either. Everyone at Roc Nation moves shady. They want people to believe their artists have more impact than they actually do. It's embarrassing. The frustration, It's loud and clear. It lines up perfectly with what Cassidy's been saying. Roc Nation isn't just gatekeeping, it's straight up manufacturing influence, while quietly pushing other artists out of the picture. And some fans are taking it even further, claiming none of this is random. It's all part of a deeper, calculated agenda. One fan went off, saying Roc Nation played a role in freezing out Chris Brown after the Rihanna situation. But it didn't stop there. They even accused Roc Nation of quietly pushing Rihanna to the side to keep Beyonce at the top. And when it came to Tory Lanez, that same fan believes the label had a hand in his conviction after the Megan Thee Stallion situation. It gets deeper. Some believe Roc Nation's got beef with Young Money, fueled by long-standing jealousy. And now, they're allegedly using Kendrick Lamar like a chess piece to outshine Drake in some bigger game being played behind the scenes. Now, yeah, a few of these theories sound wild at first, but when you line them up with what artists have been saying for years, it stops feeling like random internet noise. It starts sounding like real talk slipping through the cracks. Whether it's Cassidy calling it out, Nicki dropping hints, or fans connecting the dots one post at a time, one thing's becoming very clear. People are finally starting to question that squeaky clean image Roc Nation's been polishing for years. And the longer the top dog stays silent, the louder the whispers get. With all these shadow bans, quiet blocks, and shady backdoor deals coming to light, folks ain't blind to it anymore. They're putting the puzzle together and waking all the way up. Cassidy might sound like he's just letting off steam, but let's be real. Sometimes the loudest rants come from the realest pain. And here's the question that's hitting hard. How many artists gotta disappear, get shelved, or suddenly fall off before we admit the truth? It ain't always about talent. Sometimes it's about staying in line. And this ain't just about Cassidy anymore. Another insider from inside Roc Nation has stepped forward, and they're not whispering. They're naming names. Whatever this is, it's spreading, and the story's getting darker by the day. So stay alert, stay asking questions, and if this video shook you even a little, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let's talk. Who do you think they'll try to silence next? Hit the bell too, because this is far from over. See you in the next one.